Welcome to Virtual STEM Club Teen Edition Color Changing Slime. I'm Sandy, and you should have picked up your take and make bag for this project, which is going to contain some fun supplies for us to make some slime that we're going to be able to make it change its color. Let's get started. In your take and make bag, you're going to find a dust mask, a stirring implement, some glue in a container, the thermochromatic color changing powder. You're going to find another container that has our activator for our slime in it, and then a container to hold your slime once you get it all done. So the first thing you want to do is take the activator out of the clear bowl with the screw-on lid, and we're going to start by pouring some glue, and that's just plain Elmer's school glue in this container. And you just take the tape off, and it's taped to prevent the glue from going all over your take and make bag. And once you get the lid off, you're going to take your glue and pour about half of it into this container. And the reason that we don't pour the whole thing is so we have some extra left in case we need to make adjustments to our concoction here. So I've poured about half my container of glue into this bowl. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to put on our dust mask. And the reason that we do that is because this powder is really flyaway and we don't want to be breathing that. So put on your dust mask and then take your thermochromatic powder and open the package. And this is kind of messy, so just make sure you have some damp paper towels or a cloth of some kind handy. And then take your powder and dump it into your glue. All right. And you can see by touching the bag even that the heat from your hands is changing the powder in the bag. So then we're going to take our fork and stir this up. You can use the tine side, or you can turn it upside down and use that side. And we're just going to get this all mixed in to the glue. And it'll take a minute to get that all incorporated in there. And you'll see even when you're stirring, it's kind of creating some dust poofs coming up. And that's why we're using our mask, so that we aren't breathing all of that powder. So just keep stirring till you've got that all incorporated. See how that's going. And just keep stirring and stirring. And I can still see a little bit on the edges here, so I'm just going to try to, I can see the white glue along my edges. And I just want to get as much of that worked in with the powder as I possibly can. And then once that's looking pretty good, we'll take off the lid from this. This is just laundry starch. Take the lid off, and you want to pour maybe just like a quarter of your amount into the glue. We want to work this in a little bit at a time so that we can get the right consistency. So just pour bit in, like so. See, I've still got quite a bit left in my cup. And then we'll just stir that in. And feel free to take your mask off at that point if you would like. And then see, once we pour the starch in, how our mixture starts getting solid almost. So you just want to take and mix that in. And if you feel like you're not really getting anywhere with mixing it in, you can always take and use your hands. And just work all the liquid in together until you have a slime consistency that you like. So this one's a little bit runny yet, but the more you work it, the more solid it's going to become. But if it's still a little bit too runny for you, see, this is where it's a good idea, where maybe you shouldn't mix with your hands, but you can just take and add just a little bit more starch, and that should help it be less runny. Keep working it until you have a consistency you like. And you can even add a little bit more glue if you like. Again, the more you work it, the more it's going to solidify. And we'll add just a little dab of glue here. Good with that. Let's get it all mixed together. And again, you can have it as slimy as you want. If you want it a little more solid, you can add a little more glue. If you want a little more, if you want it solid, add your cornstarch. And if you want it runny, add your glue, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but the starch is actually the activator that makes it solid. All right. Let's get it all mixed up and incorporated here. This is a messy project. I tend to be messy anyway. But now, getting it all incorporated, making our slime. And kind of scrape it off our hands and get it all mixed in. And now, what we're going to do is see what it takes to get it to start changing colors. And the reason that it will change color is that we've got that thermochromatic powder in there, which reacts to temperature changes. So we take our slime, and if we just mine's kind of cold, just because the room temperature is kind of cold in here. But if we just kind of hold it in our hand for a few seconds, and let's just see what happens. Oh, my hands are still too cold. If you've got the purple powder, your slime should turn pink. And if you've got the green powder in your take and make bag, your slime will start green and it should turn yellow. So see how I've been working it and it's all solid. And now we just hold our hands. You can also put your slime, you can hold it in some warm water or some cold water and then put your hands in it and see what happens. See there, it started to turn color. Let's see what happened on the other side. Here you can see the pink where it's reacting to the heat in my hands. So just continue to play with it. And you could ask somebody else to hold it in their hands and see how long it takes the slime to react to somebody else. You could run your hands under hot water and then play with your slime and see how long it takes it to react. But there you have it. Let's try this side of my hand, see if it's any warmer. It may take a few minutes or a few seconds, depending on how cold your room is, how warm or cold your hands are. But again, here we're starting to see some pink in my slime from the heat in my hands. And I think maybe I'll go try and run my hands under some water, hot water, and then come back and try it, and we'll see what happens. So what we've done here is we've created slime today. And slime flows like a liquid, but unlike some of our familiar liquids like oil or water, its ability to flow or its viscosity is not constant. So it's fluid, but not a regular liquid. And scientists call materials that change viscosity a non-Newtonian fluid. And the technical explanation for that is that the slime is a fluid that changes its ability to resist deformations according to the tensile stress. And what that means is you pour slime or let it ooze through your fingers, and it has a low viscosity and it flows like a thick liquid. And when you squeeze a non-Newtonian slime, like oobleck or pound it, you don't get much of a reaction. And here, because I warmed my hands up, you can see that the thermochromatic pigment, which is what we added to our slime, can change color according to temperature. So I warmed my hands up, and now we're changing our purple slime to pink. And let's see, the green is sticking to my hand a little bit, but let's see what we get. Oh, it doesn't, not very warm apparently, not warm enough for its liking. Let's see, let's squeeze it a little bit. Like oobleck. And play with it. See if we can get it to change color. My slime's pretty cold and my hands are cold, so that's why it's reacting or non-reactive here. Let me go heat my hands up again. So to show you how the color actually changes, We've got some hot water turned on in the sink here. And we're just going to take a little stream of it and see how it's just where the water hit the slime, it's changing the color. And if you can get your hands warm enough, it will do that as well with your hands. So we can do this. And the water's just, it's rolling off our slime, but it's thinning it out a little bit and turning it a really bright lime green color. Just for experiment's sake, I'm gonna take, let's see what it'll do with some cold water. And there we have, it's turning back to green. From the bright lime yellow with the cold water, it went back to our starting point of the aqua green color. Thanks for joining us today for the Virtual STEM Club Teen Edition Color Changing Slime. I hope you had some fun with this project today, and I hope you share any video or pictures of you doing the project with us at the email address that's coming across your screen. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.